Hey guys, today's video is going to be about how I own my car in full, paid all the way off, with having bad or no credit. If you want to continue watching this video, please like and subscribe and stay tuned. So how I own my own car, I own a PT Cruiser white. If you don't know what a PT Cruiser is, it's a small little car. It looks kind of like a foreign car. Actually, it might be a foreign car. And it's one of the smaller cars. Run good with gas. And I paid around, I would say, $3,000 for that car. They usually range around from $3,000 to $5,000 for that specific car. So it is a really good car. It runs good on gas. It didn't have a lot of mileage when I had bought it. And if you don't know what mileage is, it's basically what you see on the dashboard where it shows how far has that person went in that car. And usually they say when it gets to, like, I think it's 3,000, then that means the car starts having problems and you have to get it fixed and stuff like that. So mine was mine was low, so I didn't have a problem with that. So overall, my car was a pretty good car, and I got it for a pretty low. It all didn't start that way because in the beginning my first car that I had was a Honda Civic, and it did not do well for me because I was used to having, like, my mom had like more hoopty kind of cars, and she was like, yeah, if you get you one of these, then it'll take you from point A to point B, and that only lasts for so long until the car breaks down and it's just terrible. You don't want a car that's not gonna run and get you to the place that you need to get to for a long period of time. So that was the car I had at first. I had a Honda. Then I had used my brother's car, which was a Toyota, and that didn't last long because I had messed up the car or whatever. Something happened and the car just broke apart. But it actually had like a little minor issue that we found out later. So when I had got that Honda Civic, that was my first car I had bought, and that was about $3,000 or $2,000, and I got that from my school funds. One of my freshman semesters that I was at school. And when I had got that car, it wasn't a good buy because I got it from a mechanic, but he said that it only had a little bit of minor issues, but I found out later that it had plenty of issues to it. Like, although I already knew the AC didn't work, which is fine, I was like, okay, I can just roll the windows down, I'm not tripping. And then I knew that the window, well, okay, look, I'm about to say I could roll the windows down, but the window was broke, so I couldn't roll the window down, the window was broke. It was so bad. The car was so bad. It had so many issues. Like, the window was broke, the AC didn't work. There was a huge problem with it turned out it was the engine, and then it had something to do with the air, but it was like one of those systems in the car. I forgot what it's called, but it was a huge system that was very important to the car and to help it run well, that messed up and just broke down. That's why I was like kind of overheated and everything like that. So I learned my lesson from that car because that just didn't turn out right. I messed it up by wanting a car too soon. Didn't save the money. And what you have to know is that you have to save your money when you're first getting a car. The first step that I took was saving. You want to save little by little, however much you can save. I was thankfully enough to get a huge lump sum of money from school to be able to get a car and finance for that car. And I didn't want to finance a car. You know, I didn't want to have to pay monthly bills on my car because I would take out also from the gas and then the insurance and whatever else I have to do for the car. So I was like, okay, you know, let me just buy it out. And step two, after you want to save your money or find out a way to get a huge lump sum of money, then you want to look around for a car. Look in your local area where you can find, okay, here's a smaller area dealership that they have over here where they're selling some cars, and go around on your day off and see what kind of cars they have for sale and the prices. And if you do see the prices, make sure you go online. I know what helped me, the Kelley Blue Book helped me to find out what is the actual price I should be paying for that car, because you don't want to be like, oh, I'm gonna get a PT Cruiser and at this dealership that I found down the street it's $7,000 for this PT Cruiser for 2007, and I go on Kelley Blue Book and I find out it's only worth $3,000. Then I'm wasting a huge lump sum of money, about $4,000, just spending on the car that could have been elsewhere. So you want to make sure you're not paying more for what you're getting. So do a lot of research online, look at a lot of videos like this one, look at a lot of other videos, a lot of, you can look on Craigslist. I usually look on Craigslist for a few things, but cars can be good on Craigslist, but also can be tricky because it is Craigslist and they have a lot of people who aren't reliable on there. It is a good resource to use to be able to find out what kind of cars you like or what is the price range of what my car should be. So that's why I say you look on Craigslist. Also look on AutoList, which is an app. And I'm not sponsoring any of these apps or websites. I'm just saying what I know from the knowledge that I have from my experience. So there's AutoList, and then there's a few other apps. You just go on your app store, if you have an Apple iPhone, and then type in car apps. And you'll see a whole bunch of different apps where you can look at different cars. And don't go crazy with looking at so many cars that you can't afford, because it's gonna make you sad, you know, that you can't afford a dang 2018 Honda car, 2018 what's a really nice car, Lexus. Then it's gonna make you depressed. So it's fun to look at it every once in a while to see the future, but make sure you look in your range as far as putting the filter to your budget. If you know you can only afford $5,000 for a car, then put $5,000 and under, and then look at those cars that they have. And a lot of times on cars.com or AutoList or any other websites, apps or anything like that, those cars are in only specific areas, and you have to have good credit to get those cars, or you're going to be paying a lot of money on the back end, you know, once you select that car. And it's going to be like, oh, I'm paying $3,000, but I got to pay this fee and this fee and that fee and that fee. The same with, I'm not going to mention this name of this company, but I'm going to say a company you find a lot on commercials, and they tend to say, oh, you can get a car for this amount of money, and you don't have to have good credit or anything like that. We accept everyone, but a lot of times there's always a trick to it. So you don't want to be under a company or with somebody. You want to do things your way and with yourself, so that way you have more control over your car. So if something happens to it, you have more control over it. And yeah, it takes more responsibility over the car, but it's good because you don't want to be stuck. And then, like, if you're financing a car and you're driving your car and you got a $300 payment due next month that you didn't pay, and the month comes up and then you ain't paid, and they calling you like, hey, where's our money? You know, we need our money now. And then you're driving in, find out the car vanished because you ain't got it no more because you ain't paid that $300. So you don't want it to be like that. You want to pay. If you finance a car, then pay up front, make sure you have a lot of money, make sure you can afford it. 3 times the amount of financing. But this isn't a video on finances, so I'm gonna get back to owning a car. So if owning a car with little or no credit, I know a lot of people out there have the same situations, and I feel like the best way, if you don't have any credit or you don't have high credit, is to be able to look at people who own their own cars and have, let's say they have a small dealership and they're selling a car to you, just flat out, and they're not saying, oh, you have to finance with us, oh, you have to pay this lease fee or anything like that. It's just okay. Because that's where my car came from. It was a guy who owned his own dealership, and he worked with cars, and he said, you know, PT Cruisers 2007s aren't worth being so much. You know, he didn't want to overcharge me and charge me for like $5,000. So he was like, you know, I'm gonna charge you $3,000. I was lucky to have somebody like him to be able to be like, you know, I'll give it to you for this amount of money because this is what the car is worth. And not everybody's going to be like that. You also want to make sure, if they do say it's at this price, talk them down a bit. Like, don't be disrespectful about it. Like, oh, this isn't what the car is worth, I'm not buying it for that. Nah. You want to be like, okay, would I be able to get the car if I give you this amount of money, the amount of money that you can afford to give them for that car? Always negotiate. Don't just buy the car if they say, oh, it's $5,000. Oh my God, $5,000. I can get that in a second. No, you always want to negotiate because you always want to have money extra for anything else that happens with the car. At least $2,000 extra. My first car I had $1,000 extra. It still wasn't enough. So, but look now, I only had a few $100 extra, but I have a job now, so it has worked. So I feel like to be able to own your own car, you want to make sure you're searching a lot of different places, going to local dealerships or looking online to see what kind of cars you like, what kind of cars you can find, and the good deals, and make sure you don't have to be financing or have really good credit. And then you also want to save a whole bunch of money. I got my lump sum of money from school to be able to pay for my car. And not everyone is going to be able to have that kind of money to pay for their car, but if you have family or somebody who can help you out, then that's good. I say don't take a loan from any bank or anything like that, because you don't want to be in debt and having to pay somebody back. You want to make the money yourself, and then you want to pay for the car yourself, because that's how you own your car in full with having little or no credits. Thank you. Alright guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you stay tuned, like and subscribe, and also hit the notification button where you can see any of my other videos that I'll be posting in the future, the near future. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.